The world is on fire. The podcast with David Cortez.
Welcome to The World is on Fire, episode number 12. We did it.
Wow.
We did it. 12 episodes. That's insane, Gina.
Yeah, and they're pretty long too.
You're like, keep it short. Keep it short next time.
To get to 12, wow.
What do
Yeah,
you think about where we are today versus where we started?
mm, uh, I think a lot of really good informative stuff's been put out there. You spread a really good message.
Yeah.
Some things I didn't agree with, some things made me really think profoundly. So
Mhm.
it's been some real good stuff.
Okay, so it's a mixed bag, right? Okay.
Mm.
I'm curious. What is it that you did not agree with, though? I'm just curious.
But yeah, I knew you to bring it up. Um, so this was the first episode, how you're talking about people at different levels and how they could never be
Yes.
together because of the levels that they're at or stages or something along those lines.
Levels or stages, people can never be
Yes.
together.
And then the second one was that women need men.
I think they need each other. I think women need men and men need women, right?
Okay. Mm.
Fair, fair. Okay, what was your favorite part about the last 11 episodes?
My favorite one. I think about the Betterman project
Yes,
a lot because um, I always think about that question, like what does it mean to be a man? And then those principles that you listed, they were really good
yeah,
principles to follow.
yeah,
I wish a lot of men followed through with these principles,
exactly.
inherited some of these principles, lived by these principles.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. If they lived by them and they died by them, the world could be a better place.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. The world would be a little better.
It would be. I mean, and the world could be a lot better if people lived by a lot of different principles. Right now, the world is on fire. Not just the podcast, but the actual world is on fire. It is.
Probably so many things going on.
Mhm. So many. Which kind of brings me to the episode today, right? I was talking about Viktor Frankl last time, right? And I'll say it again for those of you who didn't watch the last episode. Viktor Frankl was a psychologist or psychiatrist who was actually imprisoned during World War II, during the Nazi Germany situation, right? So he was inside of the camp, and they took all his belongings. They took his money, they took his property, they took his friends, they killed family that he had. They killed a lot of people that he had in his life, and at some point, he talks about this in one of his interviews, and he talks about it inside of his book, where he says that we had nothing but our naked selves. I think he said ridiculous naked selves at this point, because they were all standing in formation naked outside. So the Nazis took everything from them, and Viktor Frankl, he chose to still find meaning in his suffering, knowing that he was going to be annihilated pretty soon. He said, in the face of annihilation, we only have so much control over so many different things that we can control at that point, he said. And the last thing that we have control over when our dreams have failed, when our path has been blocked, is to pick the attitude that we want to have at the end. Yeah. So that's the last thing we have control over, the attitude. I was just speaking to somebody about this today over, annihilation and the attitude that we must carry. Because a lot of people lately, not just people that I work with or, everywhere that I look at, everywhere, in every direction that I'm looking at, people are talking about how maybe it's the end of the world, maybe something's going to happen, maybe that's it, right? We just had like a giant earthquake last night or yesterday, right? And they were saying that maybe it could have led to like a giant tsunami or something, right? Maybe it was God's wrath or something. Who knows if the waves are still going to happen? I'm not sure how, earthquakes work with tsunamis. I'm not a geologist or whatever it is, right? That, people that study that. But people were talking about how it's the end, and that they said that after the last tree has been cut, after the last fish has been caught, that after the last breath has been taken, only then humanity will realize that money is not something that you can eat from, or something like that. That it's going to take the world ending for people to realize that money was trying to have this greed and desire for money was not the solution in trying to find happiness in this lifetime. That it was just, being together. Yeah, pretty depressing. But with what's going on with the world, again, I mean, in so many different ways, it's on fire, right? I mean, people are struggling, people are getting deported, people I mean, even DACA recipients are being told to self-deport. I'm not sure what's up with that. People who had their visas in the country, some of them got revoked because they were going against the Trump administration, all these different things. So it's looking kind of grim. And I'm not sure if it'll be what's it called, Trump that takes everybody out, or if it'll just be God's wrath at some point that takes everybody out, or what's it going to be. But I mean, there is like this weird feeling up in the air that something's going to happen, right? It's pretty crazy. It is. But then there's reason to still be happy though, right? So with Viktor Frankl, again, he wasn't gonna die with a frown on his face. He was gonna die with a smile on his face at that point because he had accepted that he could not control how he was gonna die, but he was gonna control the way he died, as far as like mentally, as far as emotionally. We have the freedom to choose how we want to feel to a certain degree. We have the freedom to pick the attitude that we want to live by. I asked somebody this question recently. If if there was a giant meteor that was coming towards the Earth, right? Gina, let's say there was a giant meteor coming towards the Earth, and it's about to hit the planet in 5 days. What would be your response?
First, that one.
Hmm?
First thing, it would be like, oh man, that would be my first response. Devastated. And
Yeah,
then what else could I do?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. That's it. Yeah. Okay. No, it's okay. I'm just saying. So for most people, what they experience or what they will experience at any point in their life when something bad happens is they're going to experience the stages of grief, which are tied to not just one thing, but so many different things. So grief can be loss of a loved one, loss of a pet, loss of your favorite pen, loss of anything when you think about it. But grief has certain stages. There are five main stages, but I always tell people that there are two bonus ones if you're lucky. I'm being sarcastic when I say this, but it's just kind of funny. But, but come on. Where's my sound effect here? So so there are five main stages of grief. I actually did I think a presentation or a big paper on this in one of my classes during undergrad a long time ago for my psychology class. I think it was when I was taking the grief class or similar class to it. So there is denial, right? Denial is this cannot be happening, right? This cannot be happening. There's no way this is happening. There's no way. There's no way this is happening. Then there's bargaining, which is maybe I can still stop this from happening, right? I can still prevent this from happening. Maybe I can still turn things around. Maybe I can still fix things or have some semblance of what I had. That can be applied in so many different ways, by the way. Then there's anger. I am furious that this is happening. I'm so mad that this is happening. Then there's depression, which is I'm sad that this happened. I'm sad that this is happening. Then there's acceptance, which is I accept what happened or what is going to happen or, you know, everything that's going on. Then the bonus stages are, right? Bonus stages. Shock in the very front before denial. Because when something happens that's so intense and so crazy, it leads to people experiencing shock. in a lot of different cases, when there's like a tragedy that happens, like an earthquake or a storm, a really bad storm, an explosion, something, you usually see people who are just there sitting down and they're not saying anything, right? They're just there. Like if they're numb, like if they're gone. Oops, my bad. Sorry, sorry, Mike. Like if they're gone, right? Some people are just gonna be sitting down there and looking like if they're just staring into the oblivion, into nothing. These people are experiencing shock because it's still so overwhelming that they're still trying to process what's going on. So that's shock. And then below bargaining, the subcategory is guilt. Guilt. So I could have prevented this. I didn't do enough. Why didn't I try harder? All these different things. So then you have all these stages of grief, right? That people can experience. Now, the reason that I bring it up is because of this reason. So at some point there has to be a level of acceptance over what's going to happen or what's going to happen or what has happened. If a meteor were coming, you said that you would do what again? Sorry, you would be freaked out, right? And then what again?
Accepting.
Yeah, you would at some point accept them, right? And again, you have like 5 days, let's say 5 days to live. What is it that you would be doing at that point?
Whatever I could with whatever I would be allowed to do.
Yeah. So you would try to be happy in those last couple of days, those last 5 days. You wouldn't try to be miserable. You wouldn't just go to sleep and say, I'm going to ignore all this, right? You wouldn't say, no, seriously. I mean, some people would, right? But you wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't say, I'm just going to lay down here and just wait till the meteor hits the planet. You would say, I'm going to have fun, live my life, spend time with my family. Maybe we're all going to have a party at the end of this, end of the world party, right? And we're all just going to hang out together. And then when that giant ball of fire that's hurtling towards the earth looks at me dead in the eye, I'm just gonna say, whatever. I'm happy. I'm with my family, right? And you'll just, we're all just gonna be, blown to smithereens at that point. But the point is, they're like, damn, bro, what's no,
That's too
but
funny.
you'd die at peace at that point because you would accept it, right? You'd be okay with it. You wouldn't be trying to be miserable. This was actually not just a hypothetical. This was actually a movie plot.
Yeah, I was thinking about the movie. I
Yes, the movie. Which movie was it again?
don't remember the name.
Don't Look Up.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Don't Look Up. Right. And that's the one where Leonardo DiCaprio was there and he said, this administration has lost their goddamn mind, right? And they're gonna kill all of us, or something like that. Something like that. Because of the meteor. So the meteor was coming, and every single time somebody would try to point out something that was happening that could let them know that the meteor was coming, there was always some kind of a opposing force on the other side. So they would say, "Look up, the meter's right there. Just look up." And then the people who were on the MAGA side, I mean the other side, that's oh yeah, today I'm coming for everybody. but but the people on that side were saying, "Don't look up, look down, look down." And that to me, it was like the most like funniest thing in the whole movie, right? Because it really goes over something that's so interesting to see, and that's the antithesis, right? The opposite nature of the other party. That's always going to contradict what a group of people who are correct or trying to be just are trying to convey. So this antithesis is showing what will always result from the other side. This opposition to truth, to reality, to justice, to all these different things. And oh yeah, I'm not gonna hold back today. It's the last episode, I mean, at least for the season, right? So I'm not
Yeah.
holding back. This is gonna be a finale. I should be. A very good example, probably the most notable example of this, is the Black Lives Matter movement, right? So, so it's pretty crazy. I mean, there's a lot of controversy with the movement, right? There is because there are a lot of stuff that happened. I think some of the people that were in charge of it, they were embezzling money. They were doing a bunch of like corrupt stuff. And yeah,
Oh,
that happened, and that kind of messed up the movement quite a bit. But after that came out, what was it? All Lives Matter, right? and then and then blue lives matter. Hey, I'm not saying they don't. I think that all lives do matter, and I think that blue lives matter, and I think that black lives matter. I believe that they all matter, right? But that wasn't the point. The point wasn't to try to say that one group of people or that some lives matter than the rest. That wasn't the whole point. So the Black Lives Matter movement was not saying just us, just we matter. No, it was trying to magnify, to put the microscope on a specific issue that's happening, and that is that minorities, specifically African American minorities, were being targeted at in huge numbers, or there was institutional racism and all these different things. So it was trying to bring light to us to an issue that has been happening for a long period of time. But I'm not sure what's wrong with part of the country. Well, I do know what's wrong with part of the country, right? I do understand that there's always going to be an opposing force to whatever comes up. It's just a weird phenomena when you think about it. There's always going to be an opposing force. But at the same time, there has to be some kind of common ground that people reach at some point. There has to be some kind of common ground at some point. And in the words of one of my clients from back in the day, who also referenced the movie, she said, "Can we agree that the sky is blue? Can we at least agree on that? Can we at least agree on the fact that the sky is blue, or can we not agree on that?" Because she felt as if people were struggling with this issue significantly, right? With the fact that there has to be some level of agreement that we can all agree on that this is bad. This is objectively bad, right? It is. Some things are objectively just bad and should not exist or need to be fixed. And I could give you a lot of different examples. Kind of deviate there a little bit, by the way. I probably have to fix some things here with the edits. But there has to be some kind of agreement that there are things that are bad that they have to get corrected, and we all got to be able to find the most humane part of our humanity and be able to stand by it and not compromise, not be moved from that point. But going back to the meteor, because I was saying that it was the plot of the movie, the meteor, right? So that's where I kind of got deviated because of the opposing forces, right? So if the meteor was coming down, right, and it was about to strike the earth, you wouldn't waste your time being depressed or being angry. I mean, you might feel those emotions momentarily, but you would want to just enjoy it, enjoy your life at the end. And in the movie, Don't Look Up, that's actually what they did. So some people, I mean, the Leonardo DiCaprio initially was trying to fight so much against what was going on, trying to bring so much awareness, trying to show people we just gotta look up. We just gotta use common sense and look up and acknowledge that something is hurting us as people, something's gonna kill us all as people. We have to be able to see past the political illusions, the guys, the influences, right? And just agree that this is bad. But there's always going to be people that don't want to do that. Let's just call it human imperfection, right? Or you could call it, okay, you could call it greed. I call it, humans being fallible. And but by what's it called? By default, humans are not gonna be perfect, right? But I want to believe that there's a humongous bigger chunk of the population who have common sense and who are able to see past what is happening, right? One of the biggest issues, right, is immigration. That's a big issue right now, right? And what's it called? There are so many different issues surrounding that issue specifically, right? But let's go with the most obvious one. Let's go with the most obvious one, and that is how they say that people should not come to the country illegally, right? Can we agree that, I mean, this country was founded on, I mean, people coming here illegally, right? Can we acknowledge that for 1 second? And how the people that were here were destroyed, were decimated by the people who came from overseas. Can we agree on that? Right? Can we say that that's the truth? What is, right? And then the ones who remained were all made to walk the trail of tears. But can we agree that was reality? Now, can we agree that was all wrong? Now, can we agree that the people who are here now were not the original inhabitants of the country, right? Let's agree up to that point. So let's say then that the country has become its own thing, right? And then what's it called? Then people are trying to keep other people from coming in because there's not enough for the ones who are already here. Let's agree with that. But this issue, right, is when it's complicated that leads to a lot of different things. And yes, it'd be easier if everybody came to the country legally. That'd be ideal, right? But when people are escaping people that are trying to kill them, or an environment that is so impoverished that they are starving or dying, they're not going to be worried about filling out paperwork to try to wait months or years to get inside the country. I think the saddest reality in all this is that the world has been, in a way, consumed so much by greed and corruption that it has led to parts of the world being impoverished and having to what's it called, escape to parts of the world where they have more benefits, or what's it called, or more fruitful, all these different things. Then they get punished. The way that I see it, the way that I see it is, I mean, well, first of all, there were not contracts, but acts and deals that were made behind closed doors, right, with the governments, that resulted in people in other countries struggling financially. And then these people had to make do with what they had. But then again, then let's say the US benefited from these contracts or plans. Now they're benefiting from this thing. And then they say to the people who are struggling, stay over there and suffer. Don't come over here to where it's good, because if you come over here, then we lose. It's a complicated thing. Maybe I'm deviating too much. But I don't know. What do you think about what I've said? Maybe I completely deviated. Maybe you'll correct me.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, he's on a roll.
No, I don't know. Maybe I deviated a little bit. But going back to the way that the world's unfolding, right? So you got racial issues, you got discrimination, you got immigration issues, you got all these different things. You got global warming, you got political corruptness, you got this dictatorship that we're under now, right? Yeah, I said it. Dictatorship. We're under a dictatorship. And yeah, you might want to look up how to survive in a dictatorship whenever you get a chance to. And no, go on YouTube or go on TikTok. There's actually this lady. She's really good. She gives some very good advice for everybody. She said, "How do you survive under a dictatorship?" Right? And she went over all the steps that would be helpful. So for anybody who sees it like that, go look it up. It's really interesting. But with what's going on, I mean, whatever way it plays out, I suppose that I guess, I mean, we're all going to see how it plays out. That's the bright side. We're all going to see how it plays out, right? But in doing so, in going through the emotions and going through the progression and decline of the country, or going through, like, to see what's going to happen, we all have the right to pick the attitude that we want to carry throughout this entire thing, right? So let's go and say that the country is on fire. Not just, I mean, I guess the country is part of the world, but I mean, the country's on fire. The U.S. is on fire, right? So then what mentality do you want to move forward with, knowing that? Gina, what's your mentality, or what's your approach to knowing that maybe the country is on fire? I mean, they canceled Stephen Colbert, and they're going to go after the other guys next. And then, I mean, South Park is shooting back. So, yeah, hooray for South Park, right? But I'm wondering, Gina, from a human perspective, from like layman's, like, I mean, experience, layman's person's experience, right? What is your approach to what's happening? Like, what is your mentality? What is your attitude? What is the way that you want to face this force that's greater than one person? What's your plan to face it?
I have no real power, honestly. So I feel like my only role is to see how everything unfolds. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like,
Yeah.
what else could I do?
Hmm.
I have no real influence. I have no real control. There's so many things I wish like that could be fixed. And I keep thinking, like, how do we let these people get into these positions? How like, how does it happen? And yeah, like, how do we fix this?
What if there's no fixing it?
I just don't feel like I just don't feel like that's possible. I feel like there is a way to fix things.
What if there's not?
I don't know, man. I just can't.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
know.
not negative. I'm not that negative.
No, well, No, so there's a difference between being negative and being realistic, right? What if this is like what if this is the Fire Nation? What if this is from Avatar: The Last Airbender? What if this is the Fire Nation? What if we are
But
in
what
it right now?
happened? But what happened?
Huh?
But what happened? There's still hope, right?
Now for 100 years?
But it eventually changed.
After 100 years, 110 years or something.
I don't I don't think it's gonna take 100 years.
Uh okay. I mean, no, maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. But that's a very good example though. What if this is the Fire Nation?
At the beginning of the Fire
Yeah, and
Nation.
we're just starting in the Fire
God
Nation.
damn.
What if this is the Fire Nation?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What if this is how it starts? And we'll be in this spot for the next like what, 30 years, 20 years.
I'm just thinking like it's just gotta be stopped.
No, it has to, yes. Is it going to? Who knows? I'm hoping that it is. I mean, I am hoping that it is. But if it's not going to be stopped anytime soon, then maybe we have the next 30 years, 100 years to look forward to. I mean, to wait until it does change, right? I mean, maybe it could pass and things get better. And then at some point, a champion emerges from the ashes, right? And then he saves the world. Who knows? Or maybe, I mean, for those of us who are religious, I mean, like super religious, right? Maybe the second coming will come pretty soon. The second coming of Jesus Christ. Maybe that'll happen, right? You're making a face. What does that face mean?
I'm not religious.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, here's the interesting part though. So okay, so I just went to like preface what I was gonna say. So all that so that we just went over, that was all preface to what I really wanted to say. So now let's get to the part where we're in the happy area, right? So while all this is happening, there are things that are within our control and things that are outside of our control. And that's true. But again, Viktor Frankl, he said that he could not control anything else at the end but his attitude. We are all in control of our attitude, right? We are, because we can choose what mentality to carry with ourselves, what mentality we can have towards facing something like this, something this annihilating. We have the ability to carry this attitude that we want. I was speaking to somebody about this today, and he said, right, he said that he doesn't understand why Americans fight back so much, despite of why they fight so much against what is corruption, what is this country, right? He said to me that in other countries they accept that the political system is corrupt. He told me that in Mexico, for example, they don't fight against it. They just accept that the government is corrupt, and they just learn to find happiness within that environment, regardless. And even overseas, in a lot of overseas countries, he said that they also accept that the government is corrupt over there, and that doesn't stop them from being happy. Isn't that crazy? So I think maybe before this administration, people knew that the government was corrupt already. I mean, we've known this whole time. I don't think anybody was completely shocked about that. I think we've known for a long period of time. We have. I mean, there's a bunch of scandals that have hit the U.S. In the last 100 years. So it's no surprise. So why do you think? Why do you think it's growing more difficult, in your opinion? Why it's more difficult for people to tolerate what's going on?
I think because of the things that we have that like satisfy us for the moment,
Hmm. What do you mean?
like the internet,
Okay, good point.
video
So
game,
so people are going towards smaller things to satisfy them.
playing out, enjoying the things that you like. I feel like that's why they're able to tolerate
Hmm.
still.
Yeah, maybe. Right? How does that influence them tolerating things? Is it because they have these things that they're not worried about the bigger things?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. But then also, it's tricky because with what's going on right now, right? I mean, like so many different bad things are happening, and it's difficult to turn a blind eye to it. It is. But then what happens if there's not some level of acceptance? Then it leads to frustration, stress, anxiety, hopelessness, all these different things. It just sucks. It does. So yeah. But let's say that we're heading towards a period that we cannot change or control. Then what's left? Our attitude, right? We can just to see things all the way to the end and just, face them as best as we can as people, as humanity. So if things are really going down a bad direction, then we have to be willing to face them with dignity, with acceptance, with all these different things. Viktor Frankl, though, I wanted to touch on this, right? Definitely, for sure. Sorry, I had my piano right there. It's like right there. Yes, I play piano. But so he talked about a couple of different things. He talked about how meaning in life comes from a couple of different places. One of those things is creative values, what we choose to give to life. So what we create or what we contribute or what we achieve, right? So what we create could be art. What we contribute could be writing books. What we achieve could be success in a lot of different ways. He said that this is what brings meaning to life. And despite what's happening right now, I think people can still find meaning in these things. So despite of the world being on fire and things being crazy, people can still write books. People can still make paintings, draw, do all these different things, and try to pursue as much success as possible as they can. And then also you have experiential values, which include receiving and experiencing beauty, truth, and love, and all these different things: nature, music, art, relationships, and spiritual moments. Right? So people can still go towards love, music, art, relationships, all these different things, and try to develop as much as possible within that spiritual side as well. So people can still do all these different things. Yes, the world may be on fire. Yes, things may be, burning to the ground to a certain degree. But you can still do all these things to the best of your ability. To the best of your ability. Now, it might not be as ideal as possible. With what's happening, people are still able to experience love, still able to experience what's it called, relationships, and all these different things, right? Still possible. Now, I know I said it last time. I was talking about how, in a lot of ways, the world is impeding human development for people. It is. It is preventing people from being able to pursue some goals, and pretty soon graduate school will be different too. So graduate school is going to be changing pretty soon. I think by the year 2029, people are not going to be able to go to graduate school, or they will be able to, but they're going to be struggling to finish financially because they're trying to cap the I think it was the I can't even say it, aggregate amount of how much people can take out on student loans. So if you want to go to graduate school, later on, then it's going to be more difficult because they're going to limit how much you can borrow. So then you might not be able to finish graduate school without having to work full time and making that happen somehow, right? It's crazy. But none of what's happening right now can prevent anybody from being able to pursue their dreams at full force, right? So let's put it this way: if I said to you, I want you to run a marathon, right? And it's only you can only get to like 1 mile because the road's blocked off, right? But you wanted to go 3 miles, but you still made it past. You still made it to that 1 mile. Did you not try your best?
Yeah.
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 Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the same thing with this. So in the event that this world is putting so many limiters on people to be able to be able to pursue their goals and reach the point that what they want to reach, it does not mean that you cannot try your best in any way possible, right? So if you want to go to school and go as far as you can take it. If you want to paint, and paint as much as you want to paint. If you want to pursue love, then pursue love and go as far as you can. If you want to find happiness and success in success, whether it's career or anything else, go as far as you can. None of what's happening right now in the country is enough to stop you from pursuing things as far as you can and possibly are able to. It shouldn't stop you. It shouldn't. And this goes into a lot of different things, including, the pursuit of happiness, right? In that movie, the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, and it's the one with Will Smith, right? You've seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, would you not say that his life was on fire?
Like I had a rough,
Yeah,
weird.
he had it rough. I mean, his wife left him. He lost his home. He was in debt. He got arrested. He had to work for free. He had to do all these different things. And he had a son while he was doing these things. It wasn't just him by himself. He was living in this homeless shelter thing, homeless shelter. And he had to do all these different things, earn money, and finish this internship program. Yeah, he still did it. He still succeeded. And he became a stockbroker, I think that's what it was, a stockbroker, right? He became a stockbroker. I think that's what it was. He did this even when the cards were against his favor, big time. So everything was against him. Not just one thing, but so many different things. So then how's that even possible? How does somebody make it through all these different things? How's that even possible?
I don't know.
Maybe it was resiliency. Maybe it was resiliency. Maybe it was grit, right? Maybe it was.
Definitely grit.
Oh yeah, he had that for
Definitely.
sure, right? He had that for sure. But at this point in life, isn't it a thing that isn't it something that's being required from people? Grit,
Mm.
right? So right now at this point in life, a lot of grit is being required from people. It's being demanded of people, and people have to be willing to fight for the life that they want. Right? They are. Did you ever hear about the story of Pandora's box?
A long time ago.
Do you remember the story?
Nope.
Oh man, Gina, come on. Pandora's box? No.
Mm-mm.
So it's been a minute. 1 second.
Only seen the anime.
Huh? Oh, okay. Let me see. 1 second.
Watch way too much anime.
Huh?
Yes, I watch way too much anime.
1 second. But I'm
You did.
wondering. Okay. So what happened was it's basically this. So in Greek mythology, Pandora's box, or more accurately, a jar, I guess, contained all the evils and miseries of the world, which were released when Pandora opened it. These included things like sickness, pain, suffering, and death. Yeah, she opened it. Why did you open up Pandora? Right? I'm not sure who opened up Pandora's box recently. Whoever opened it, shame on you. Right? Shame on you. But then one thing remained in the end when the box was opened, and that thing came out, and that was hope. Right? So hope remained. And hope is something that cannot be, destroyed. It can't. It really can't. So maybe that's what it's going to take for people who are feeling as if things are not going to get better, who are hopeless, who are pessimistic, who are suffering, to regain a sense of hope, and be able to believe that something can happen, and that things will change. And then maybe one day when all this passes, then maybe the world will not be on fire. What do you think about then? About hope being the solution, in a way?
I like that.
Yeah, hope. No, really, hope. It's a beautiful thing. I started watching this TV show just by pure chance. So we were all bored, and we were like, okay, we gotta watch a new TV show. And we were like, okay, what do we watch? And then we were watching Netflix. I'm not advertising for Netflix, by the way. But we started to go through Netflix, and then we saw this advertisement. It said The Sandman.
Mm.
Have you seen that show?
Yeah.
Have you? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, when did you watch it? When did you watch it?
When it came out.
Really? I just started watching it recently, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, the
But
new season came out just recently.
really? Okay, cool. Maybe that's why it's been like advertised more.
Yeah.
But I loved the scene when Lucifer and Morpheus, right? Morpheus?
Yeah, I think so. It's
When
been a
Luc-
while.
Yeah, no, but when Lucifer and Morpheus were fighting in hell. So Morpheus was trying to get his helm back, his ruby back.
Is
And
it when they have to like say the sentences?
yes. That part
Yeah,
was
that was an
awesome.
interesting.
Wow.
Cool.
No, I was just shocked.
Cool.
I was blown away by that specific part of
I thought that was neat. I thought that was really neat.
it was so cool, Gina, because what happened was that he had to fight Lucifer, right? He had to fight Lucifer. He had to out with the devil, how they say. And what happened was that, I mean, you're in the devil's, I mean, Lucifer's what's it called, realm. So the odds are already against you significantly. So for anybody who hasn't watched the show, they had to have a mental battle, right? That also was a bit like not just mental, but it led to like physical injury. So if one person thought about something, then the other person would suffer the pain that they just thought about. So if I say something like thorns, then Gina's finger will get pricked with a thorn, for example, right? And blood will come out, something like that. But in the fight scene, I thought it was so cool because what was it? It was a dire wolf. She said dire wolf, right? Dire wolf walking or sneaking through the night or something with sharp fangs and claws, right? So then a dire wolf came out on the screen, and then he said, "A hunter," right? A hunter that destroys or hunts everything that he can that it comes into contact with. So then the hunter kills them, kind of like chess. The hunter kills the dire wolf, but then what was it that happened? I think she said something serpent, the serpent, man-eating serpent, who attacks the hunter and kills him, and then the hunter gets attacked by the serpent, and then what's it called? The hunter dies. But then he says something like eagle, or yeah, it was like an eagle with sharp talons or something like that that hunts down snakes and or something and tears them to pieces. So then the eagle or bird, whatever kind of bird, raven or whatever kind of bird it was, it comes down and then it kills the snake. Then she says bacteria, right? Bacteria. So then the bacteria it starts to come out of the bird's face or something, and it just kills the bird. And then he says something like the Earth or a beautiful planet. So then the bacteria goes away and it gets beat by the healthy planet. But then she said something like the universe, right? Or supernova or something. And then they had one more exchange. I forgot which one it was at that point. But she says like something like cataclysm or something, whatever it was. And he starts dying and he's losing and he's gonna lose this battle of mental wit. And then he finds the strength to say hope, right? Hope. And he gets up and then hope shines and he beats Lucifer. That was beautiful, right? And then he said to Lucifer, what do you know that can beat hope? And Lucifer just stays quiet. Lucifer loses. And the Sandman gets up and he walks out with his things. That was crazy. That was crazy, right? So Hope won at the end, just like in Pandora's box. Hope won at the end within the show as well. What do you think about that, Gina? The fact that Hope has the power to beat anything.
Um, I just like the concept, man. Like I watch a lot of anime. That's like the main like
Yeah,
the prize of it all, pretty much, is to have hope and a community and all that. So I think it's
yeah,
positive.
exactly, right. And I mean, hope can be the thing that saves everybody. So maybe there has to be some level of acceptance that there are bad things happening and that there's not much that people can do over what's happening right now. But it's definitely possible that one day things could change and we could see a different side of the country again, right? Maybe things will get better one day after all this passes. This too shall pass, how they say, right? So maybe at some point things will change. There are people though that support a lot of the bad stuff that's happening, but you know it's a bit complicated. It really is. I don't think people are necessarily trying to hurt other people. I think people are struggling and they don't want to struggle anymore, so it makes them turn on each other. I think that's what's happening, right? So with a very good example of this is this. Let's go with the most basic thing, right? Which is the whole jobs thing. The whole jobs thing. So people are saying that I think the initial argument like years ago was illegal immigrants are taking our jobs or something like that, right? But these are jobs that nobody even wants to work. Let's just be honest. Nobody wants to work them. Nobody wants to be doing some of these things, right? That the people who are here illegally were doing in the first place. So if they're not willing to do them, what kind of jobs are they really taking? What jobs are they really taking? You know what I mean? Right. But then let's go with the second argument, which is I mean, it's a very good question though. What is the argument in your opinion for the deportations? What's like the whole argument?
That they should have come here legally. That's the one that I keep hearing the most.
That they should not have come here illegally,
Yeah, yeah,
but then everybody who came from overseas come here illegally,
yeah.
so they shouldn't have come here either, right? So then how does that narrative work?
I don't know, but that's the main argument
And
that
uh-huh.
that I hear. Like I've had coworkers say that.
Yes. No, that's a very good point. But again, the counter argument is then, I mean, then why did the Europeans come here in the first place? They came here illegally. But then whenever you bring this up to people and they'll say, well, I mean, that was a long time ago. Well, it's okay, wait a couple of years and that was a long time ago too, right now. So you know what I mean? So you cannot say that was a long time ago. Just like you cannot say that slavery was a long time ago either, because first of all, you still had Jim Crow, like not even like too long ago, by the way. Jim Crow was still around like what was it, 1930s, 40s, whatever it was, right? So that was not a long time ago. But then who was it? Charlie Kirk had
Some of those people are still alive.
exactly. But then you have people like Charlie Kirk saying something like, I don't see the point of what do you think? I don't see the point of trying to undo something or trying to change something and hurt specific groups of people for what other people did, right? But everything has a generational effect. Everything has a generational effect, in including institutionalized racism, all these different things. So it's complicated. It really is. But again, if we can all agree that yeah, the sky is blue. We can all agree that some things are wrong and that they're still affecting people. They are, right? Big time. So, yeah, I mean, there's that. Okay. Gina, what's it called? I don't know. What do you think about what I've said so far?
Some pretty controversial stuff, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just wondering what some people are gonna say. Um,
Yeah, no, I know. But with what's going on, it's just so crazy. It is.
yeah, dude, hearing like whatever's happening in Gaza right now, all those people being starved, it's just like there's nothing I can do.
I know. It's insane. And then I mean the thing is, like, can we all agree that people starving is bad? Can we come to that same conclusion, everybody? Can we all come to the conclusion that people starving overseas is bad? Can we all agree that blowing up innocent people is bad? Can we agree on that? Can we agree on the fact that, I mean, that nobody should be forced to like not eat? Can we agree on that? Can we agree that people shouldn't be starving and going to the point to where they're like basically getting like super what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? The word I'm looking for is emaciated. What's that word? When you get super like
Emancipated
huh?
or emaciated.
Yeah, emaciated. Was that one? Anyways, I think we should all be able to agree at least on that. Can we agree that like the housing thing, the price of housing being so high is not correct? Can we agree that people have to like the people having to like work like two jobs to be okay? That's not correct. Can we agree that people shouldn't be working two full-time jobs and still be struggling? Can we agree that food shouldn't be so expensive to the point to where, I mean, I heard about it, which is kind of creepy. I heard about it in some cases where people have to put their food on layaway. I mean, like crap. Like where are we at? Where are we at? Can we agree that what's it called? That's I mean that the world's going to hell, right? And basically burning is not good. Can we just agree on some things, like the most basic things? Yeah, people have the right to live, right? You know, I watched the TV show X-Men, X-Men '97. Have you seen that one?
Uh,
What? No, Gina, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. So, I mean, first of all, did you know that X-Men was inspired by Malcolm X and MLK.
Oh, really?
Yes. Fun fact. So Malcolm X is supposed to be represented by Magneto.
Really?
Yeah. And Professor X is supposed to be symbolic of MLK. Crazy, huh? So when you put it in that perspective, it's interesting because the ones who are being hunted are mutants, right? And in the real life, it was, African American people. And now it's Hispanic people that are being hunted. So first of all, history repeats itself. Second of all, the comic book was meant to be a representative. Sorry, that the comic book, yeah, was representative of what was going on. But there's something that what's it called, that happened in the show. You gotta watch it, Gina. You gotta watch it. It's really good. This is your dream. My kind splayed before you, powerless and afraid. All the X-Men have done is use their awesome power to protect a world that hates and fears them. Behold the reward. What must we do to be good enough? Is this the high road's destination? If so, I say, I have too many times before, never again. Bigot, ingrate, sycophant, worm, so small I could smite you with a step. There was a time that I might smite you all for what you have done to Storm. But today I have saved you from your own, for an old friend has challenged me to remember this view of the earth, how vast it is versus how small we make it. Charles Xavier entrusted me with his dream, and it does not ask you to love or to embrace my kind as your own, but merely to accept that this is a shared world with a common future, and that my kind, like yours, have the right to live in it. I am trying to be better. Please do not make me let you down. Yeah. What do you think about the speech? I mean, some of my speech because it was only part of it.
That was a good speech.
It was. I really like that part where he says that my kind has basically the rights to live in it as well, right? No group of people has more of a right to live in this world than any other group of people. Everybody has the right to live in it, and people could argue that, I mean, that there are politics behind it and all these different things. But the truth is, I mean, to ignore human suffering and then to turn a blind eye to it, or to say they're not us, so we will not help them out. That's cruel. It really is. And I mean, people have to, I guess, change. The world has to change in some way, truthfully speaking. And Bruce Lee, I quote Bruce Lee a lot because I love Bruce Lee. Quoted, awesome. He always said, "If every man helped his neighbor, no man would be without help."
Yeah.
And if that was a mentality that everybody took on, then the world would be a completely different place. It wouldn't be the way that it is right now. It wouldn't be as bad as it is right now. But again, I have hope that one day things will change. I have hope that one day things will get better. I do.
do.
So I'm hoping that things do get better, and hopefully they do. Hopefully they do. And this will be the final episode for the season, right? I wish it was a little bit more happy, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I wish it was a little bit.
Hey, man, we ended a lot of on like a lot of positive notes and a lot of episodes. This one, I feel like you're just keeping it real.
Maybe a little bit too real. I don't know. But I guess I'm just trying to be honest because it's the final episode, right? And because I'm not sure what's going to happen next. The way that it's looking like, I mean, week by week, things are getting weirder and weirder, more difficult, more strange, right? Strange things are happening, like the Hunger Games song, right? And it's just getting weirder and weirder. So I'm not sure where the world's going to be in the next week or the next 2 weeks. But definitely, I hope that things do get better and that somehow humanity is able to find its path out of the darkness. I hope they do. So that was the episode. That was The World's on Fire. Thank you. Thank you.